lovely bookish friends. Heather with Bell's Library back again today. If you are new here, definitely get down and subscribe, and hello to everybody who is watching. So we are going to start a new series today. It is called Testing 123. So it is going to involve testing out 3 books in the same kind of category or genre. Sometimes it's going to be maybe a genre or area that I don't read a lot of, but sometimes it might be something that I definitely know that I enjoy and I just want to read more of, which is going to be the case today. Today we are going to do a circus-themed Testing 123. I kind of want to do this where I'm reading 3 books in that theme, but this one I do have 4 for. But at the same time, one of the books is a reread, so I'm still testing out 3 books. I just really want to reread a different one. So let's get into which books I'm going to choose, and then I'm probably going to do a little bit of vlogging as I read through these books. At the end, we will wrap up which books I liked and are worth you guys reading if you like a circus-themed book, and which books maybe I didn't like, and we'll kind of rank them and see what I think. I'll start with my reread. I really want to reread Water for Elephants because I read this a while ago. It's been years and I really enjoyed it. I actually really liked the movie too, which is really rare for me that I like the movie if I've read the book. But this one was definitely really, really good. If you guys haven't heard of what Water for Elephants is, it is basically about Jacob Jankowski. He ends up orphaned as he's about to finish up vet school, and he just kind of is sent adrift afterwards. It completely throws him off, and he jumps a train, and he ends up on a circus train. And then he meets Marlena, who is one of the star acts, and just seems to instantly fall for her. And it's kind of their story. She is married to, like, the main circus guy, so, you know, things get a little racy there. And this is also set, like, back in the Great Depression, and so there's a lot of stuff going on with that. I don't know, like, I can kind of remember the details, but I can't super put it in words right now, and so hopefully I will be able to as I reread this book here soon. Next up on the TBR is going to be Where Dreams Descend, which, oh my gosh, such a gorgeous cover! I'm so excited I got this in my Owlcrate. So basically, this book is about a competition between magicians to get a star act in the circus, and as the competition kind of goes along, the magicians seem to start disappearing, and we're down to like the last 3, and they're trying to win as well as not disappear. So the last 3 that remain standing are the star, the magician, and the master. So we will see who ends up winning and who our lovely character is on the front of the book here. I'm very, very much looking forward to this one. So the next book on the TBR is kind of a classic. I feel like this one came out like 10 years ago, I would say, and a lot of people have read it, a lot of people have really enjoyed it, and it is going to be The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So the Night Circus is about the circus that comes into town, and they just pop up. Without any warning, people just wake up, and there's the circus. And the story is going to follow 2 illusionists who are competing in this game, and they don't know who they are at first, but then they kind of find out, and they're, instead of competing, they kind of collaborate together, and there's a little bit of some romance happening between the 2 of them, but at the same time, we've got other people that are holding their strings a little bit, and they're going to mess it up for them. So, yeah, I'm excited. We'll see how this one goes. And then the last book that I am going to include in this will be my audiobook that I'll be reading, and that is going to be Caraval. I have the second book in the series, so I'm going to have to look into getting Caraval, but this one's by Stephanie Garber, and this one follows 2 girls. They're sisters, Scarlett and Tella, and they get invited to Caraval, which is something that happens once a year, and it's like a big performance with audience participation, and they get invited, and you can only participate and be in it if you're invited. And so the two sisters end up going, and Tella gets kidnapped as a part of the game, and everybody in the audience has to find her. And so Scarlet gets kind of just completely enmeshed and entrenched in trying to find her sister and everything that's going on. And that's kind of the basic premise of that one. So this is going to be our TBR, my 3 main books for the testing 1, 2, 3, and then just a reread because I really want to. Alright guys, I figured I'd get on really quick and update you guys. It is Saturday afternoon, and Saturdays right now are, since I'm not working, kind of my day to decompress and just enjoy after trying to do all of the house cleaning and the chores and the school and everything else that I do all week long. So I haven't done a whole lot, but you will see that I did head out to my garden this morning and I pulled some weeds and put some soil down, and we're starting to get our first corn in there, and we've gotten a few zucchinis, which our zucchini plants are like humongous, and so definitely will be able to see that with a clip here. And then I also did some planning in my planner for next week and got a little update for you guys in my book here, Where Dreams Descend. So I am on page like 85 right now, and I'm trying out some tabbing. I haven't really done that before, but I'm kind of enjoying it so far, and I'm definitely very intrigued by this book. There's actually this quote, let me see. It says, "Intrigue started it, and curiosity sealed it." And I feel like this book is majorly that. There's a lot of intrigue, and I'm very curious as to how a lot of different components are going to fit into here, and I feel like the author is giving a lot of foreshadowing in here as to things that are going to come up later. She talks about Glorian, and one of the characters is speculating that maybe Glorian is hiding some kind of weapon or certain magic or something that nobody else possesses. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a foreshadowing. Also, there is a gate called Zeros Gate, and just barely mentioned, and I'm very curious as to what that's going to mean at all, and what our characters, our main character, she is the star, her name's Kalia, and she's a very strong, independent young lady. I'm really enjoying her tenacity, but I'm very curious as to, I guess, just there's so many different moving parts. There's a lot of questions. I literally wrote down 10 questions last night at the end of reading these 85 pages that I'm just really curious about. The only thing is, I'm just not sure if I love the writing yet. Sometimes I have a hard time having to reread stuff. It's just really flowery writing, although it is gorgeous the way she depicts some of the stuff. So I'm still mixed bag on that. Maybe I was just tired last night and whatever. So I will let you guys know as I read some more. I think I'm going to get some reading in right now, and we'll see how this book goes. So far I'm enjoying it, but I'm not sure it's going to be a favorite. Hi everybody, it is Sunday morning. Sorry if there's a lot of background noise. I'm at work right now, and I'm just taking my break before we open up for the day, and we're right next to the road. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update of where I'm at. I feel like I need to probably give you guys a brief review of what's actually going on in this book. We are following Kalia, and she is a magician, and she is competing in this show to become the headliner for the Conquering Circus. And so basically what's happened is we've had this dinner for all the contestants, and they've kind of laid out some rules, and the first show just happened and finished, and that was what I had read through, was just the first show. There wasn't a lot of details about what was going on with the show, but definitely Kalia's performance was the highlight and the most interesting. I'm also really enjoying her relationship with her assistant. So it's kind of fun because I feel like there's like a lot of female feminist power kind of going on in this book, in that most people in Glorian, where the contest is going on, are very, like, women don't really hold status in this world. And so everybody's really surprised when she's not the assistant and her assistant is actually a male. They always think he's the magician. So it's kind of fun to see her surprise everybody like that. And so I'm definitely growing to really enjoy her, as well as her assistant is really like supportive and interesting. And he was like a thief before and tried to steal from her, and that's how they kind of met. So they have an interesting dynamic and are more similar than you would think they are. I don't know. So it's good. So far I'm enjoying it, but I'm just really ready for at least some of my questions to be answered. And just like a little bit. I need a little bit just to keep things going, because I'm like, this book's 450 pages and I'm only 150 pages in. And I'm worried that it's going to start feeling really long if things don't start unfolding just a little bit. So we will see. I'm sure they will as the show's getting started here. I also have been listening to Caraval on audio, and I am, I think, almost 4 hours in. So I've got like 6 to 6.5 hours left. I think it's like a 10.5 hour audio. So, and I'm really enjoying it. So we are basically following these two sisters who go to this island that is run by Legendary, who is the creator of this big, huge performance show, and the audience has to like find all these clues and figure out the mystery, and then they get this big surprise at the end, but nothing's really what it seems. I really like Scarlett's dress. It was given to her by Legend, and it like changes on her, and she doesn't even like realize it. It'll change into like a nightgown or this or that, and I don't know, it just seems really cool. But yeah, you're just constantly like, wait, I'm seeing this, but am I really seeing this? So you're questioning everything that's going on pretty much, because it's all like a big illusion pretty much. Like, I don't know. So it's definitely keeping me really intrigued. I'm really enjoying Scarlett, our main character. Her sister Tella is kidnapped as the main quest, I guess, for the performance. All the contestants have to find her. And then we have some returning people who have done this before, and she is actually working with one of them, and she doesn't know his full motives yet. So we'll have to, I don't know, we're kind of keeping an eye on him, and we kind of want to trust him, but we kind of don't want to trust him. So there's definitely more of the story there. I'm curious to find out. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this story, and I can understand why it's a beloved story here in the book community. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update there. I'm not sure. It has been quite a few days here. We had reading rush, and so I took a little break from this little test, and now we're back to reading circus books. And I just finished Caraval, which was so good. Oh my gosh. I love like just all the inventiveness of this land and how it all just changes, and the way you just don't know what's real and what's not. I mean, the characters and everybody who's kind of in the game just keeps telling you, like, don't believe what you're actually seeing, or, you know, this is just a game, so don't get swept away by it. But then you're thinking, is it really just a game? Oh man, like, yeah, I almost feel like it's almost got like thriller vibes to it, even though it's not like scary thriller, but you're just like so enveloped in it, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And yeah, no, that was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Not super circusy, so maybe it's not totally fitting into this theme. All right, apparently Kitty's gonna come in and talk to us too. So I loved it. I mean, I don't know if I would throw it into like a circus book necessarily after having read it, but it does have some of that kind of like you're playing different games, and like she had to go into different shops, but then the currency was kind of different. So I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. The whole thing's just a big game, so I don't know if that relates into circusiness at all, but maybe a little bit into like a carnival kind of. I don't know. If you haven't read it and you like really imaginative writing and worlds and just that suspense and thrillerness that you're just like not sure what's real, what's not, totally the book to pick up. And I loved listening to it. I think the audiobook was a really nice way to go. I could follow everything. I wasn't getting lost, and I could just enjoy it. So I really definitely want to continue this series for sure. All right, I will talk to you guys soon when I have more to update you guys on. Hey guys, I just wanted to update you guys a little bit on where I'm at with Where Dreams Descend. I am getting towards the end here. I'm on page 389, and it is picking up quite a bit. A lot of the chapters are a little bit shorter, so they're like 5 pages or less right now, so it feels like I'm just flying through it, and I'm just like, oh, just one more. I can get through one more. So these last like 80 to 100 pages have really like kind of picked up the pace, and I feel like we're gonna start getting some really big answers soon as to what's going on. I also have noticed that we're getting a lot less of Jack's point of view, which we mostly follow Kalia throughout all of this, but occasionally we have a little bit of Jack or a little bit of DeMarco. And whenever we switch into Jack, I just like, I have to like sit there and reread it, and I don't understand. I was reading one passage, I literally reread like this paragraph like 5 times, and I was just like, I have no idea what this paragraph's trying to say. So I don't know if that's supposed to be adding to my confusion, because I don't think we're fully supposed to understand Jack and what he's doing and what's going on with him, but it's just making it hard for me to read in those moments. But yes, I'm starting to enjoy this more. I'm enjoying that it's picking up some tempo, and I've got like 60 pages left now. I also enjoyed the fact that we are seeing a little bit more of the Conquering Circus. They started performing while they're waiting for the last act of all of the magicians in the show, and so we're meeting some of those characters and seeing some of the acts of the circus. So yeah, I will update you guys soon when I have finished this guy up and we start the next book. It's a new day, and I finished Where Dreams Descend. So I also did kind of a fun little art out of this book. So when I was reading it, some of the imagery is really beautiful. So I'll read you this and kind of show you the little picture I made from it. Water trickled from her palm as she passed the plump orange roses with purple edges, speckled orchids standing tall as trees, deep blue moonflowers that glowed at night. Every time Kalia mastered a trick, Jack would present her with a small pouch of seeds. Potential, he called them. So I just thought I would share that with you. Some of the writing in here is definitely very descriptive and beautiful. Overall, I'm feeling like a 3-star on this one. I had so many questions. Like, I tabbed a bunch of stuff that was like, where is this gonna lead? Where is this gonna pull into the story? And like, most of them I feel like never came back around, weren't really answered. I feel like I had more questions than answers, which for me is really frustrating. Like, the end just didn't give me enough. And I know there's another book coming, but I still wanted some answers now, not just a ton more questions and confusion. So that was a little frustrating for me. I definitely appreciated towards the last like 150, 200 pages, the pace kind of got going a little better. I was moving through the book quicker, and so that was nice. And the relationship between Kalia and DeMarco was a really nice touch in here. I really enjoyed their relationship, and I enjoyed that she was such a strong, independent character that just was gonna do everything she could to be successful in a man's world. And I don't know. So I enjoyed the story and I enjoyed the idea of it. I just feel like it could have come together a little better. I wish we would have seen more of the actual acts. Like we usually saw some of Kalia's was explained, but never the other magicians. And there was also a couple of like points where the logic was a little off for me. A lot of the magicians were going missing, but then like, I don't know, I probably just missed something, but when I was like calculating in my head how many went missing and how many started, I was feeling like towards the end there should have only been one person left, but there wasn't, obviously. So that was a little weird and confusing, and I just still don't understand. I don't know, there's just so much I don't understand. So I definitely want to pick up the next book in this series. I think it's just 2 books. I think it's a duology, and see like if some of my answers are going to come and how that's going to kind of pull together, and maybe it'll just like pull this book better. Maybe we just needed some of the groundwork going on here. I just didn't get everything that I wanted. I also really enjoyed the circus aspects of this, and when we were talking about like some of the different circus acts and the circus characters, like they were really fun. So I wish there was maybe a little bit more of that, because I did enjoy that quite a bit. So yeah, it was a 3-star for me, and that's how we're feeling there. Last night, I also picked up the Night Circus and got started into here. I am not too far. I am on page 44. So I was getting tired and ended up going to bed. But this one, I've met our 2 main characters, Celia and Marco, and they've mostly been kids, and now they're like older teens, and they are preparing for this competition. And I don't know, the ways that their mentors do it are not exactly nice and friendly to kids, I feel like. So I'm curious as to where that's going to take them. And there's also another character, Isabel, and I'm not really sure how she's going to play into this, but she has like tarot cards and kind of they speak to her, and so that's, I don't know, going to come into the story a little bit, I guess. We just met her, so yeah, just kind of meeting some of the characters is mostly what's going on right now, and we're finding out that the mentors are going to train up Marco and Celia to have a contest and see who wins between being able to teach these 2 kids to do the illusionary magic. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then I also started listening to Water for Elephants on audio yesterday a little bit too. I think I listened to like an hour or so, and so Jacob's just getting started with circus, and I don't think, we haven't met Marlena yet. He's just seen her from afar, and so we're just kind of getting started into that story. It's definitely bringing back some good memories, and there's moments in it that I don't remember fully from reading and seeing the movie and stuff before. So it's kind of nice to just be reminded of these things, and it's just a good nostalgic read to listen to. So that's the updates I have for you on those books so far, and I will update you guys more as I get reading. Good morning, guys. It is Monday morning, and I kind of took a break over the weekend from reading because I read so much in July. I was feeling a little bit burnt out, and I just needed a little bit of a break. I'm going to try and catch myself up today so I can get you guys this lovely circus content, but right now I'm going to listen to my audiobook and clean the house because it's a disaster, as you guys can tell. So we are going to clean up the kitchen and my bedroom and the bathrooms and just take some time to clean up, and then that gives me an opportunity to work through Water for Elephants on my audiobook. And then later today I will get into the Night Circus a little bit more. I read a little bit yesterday at work, but not a ton. It is starting to pick up a little bit for me, and there's so many different people and timelines, so I was getting a little like confused for a little bit. I was like, what's going on? I was like, we're just gonna keep going, because eventually it's gonna start making sense and why we're following all these different people and what their whole deal is. So I am definitely excited to get back to the Night Circus, because I feel like things are going to start coming together, and we're talking more about the circus coming around, and so I'm definitely starting to enjoy it more. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, so let's clean house. Officially cleaned a majority of the house. I just finished mopping, put a little bit of a face on, and I'm gonna go grocery shopping. But I just wanted to update you guys. I listened to quite a bit of my audiobook for Water for Elephants, and I have about 2 hours left. It's about like a 12-hour audiobook. And I just love the story. Like, I've already read this one, obviously, and it's just nice to be immersed back in this world, and the characters are just wonderfully done. Like, I love Jacob and Marlena. They just both have such sweet hearts, and they love animals. And then you've got August, who is just like such an awful, vindictive, deceiving, manipulative person, and I just despise him. Something that's kind of fun and different that I have learned with this reread is that now that I'm in nursing school and kind of following that track, we have, when we're in the present time and we're at the nursing home with Jacob, he has his nurse Rosemary is one of the main nurses, and just seeing how good of a nurse she is and how much she just cares, and she really is trying to do some different things to make sure that he feels special and heard, and not just like, well, this is the way this has to be run, so you're just gonna have to deal with eating the mushy food, even though he is one of the residents that can actually eat some real food, and he wants to have that kind of thing. He doesn't want to be 90 years old and just thought of as an invalid that nobody can bother with. So I just really appreciate her and her love of what she does and her kindness. So I just kind of hooked onto that a little bit in this reread, so that was kind of fun. But I definitely love this book and recommend it to everybody. And hopefully I will be able to finish it up later this afternoon. But I'm gonna go grocery shopping, and I will talk to you guys later. Good morning, guys. I made a ton of progress yesterday, and I am getting ready to wrap up this vlog. So I finished Water for Elephants on my audiobook, and I just love this book. I feel like I was trying to think of why I enjoy this book so much. I really think that Jacob just makes it for me, and the characters are just, they're not one-dimensional. Like, they have real feelings and thoughts, and like realistically, like these feel like real people. And I also really enjoyed the historical aspect of everything. You feel like these things actually happened back in the Great Depression where this is set, and just how hard it could be with money and nowhere to go, and everybody's just trying to make it and figure it out. And I also really enjoyed Marlena and Jacob's love and the cute romance that's going through this story. I think the fact that you also get Jacob when he is an older guy really makes you feel their love connection so much more, because you know they've just built a life together, and that it just, you know, makes it less insta-lovey and more like genuine love. So it's my kind of final thoughts on Water for Elephants. If you guys haven't read it or seen the movie, they're both really good. so the Night Circus is what I am trying to finish up, and I am making some good progress. I made it to 276 last night, and so I've got about 100 pages left in this book, and I'm going to finish it right now. We're going to get this book done so I can get this vlog edited and you guys can see it and see what I thought of all these wonderful circus books I've been reading. Before I start reading though, I will just give you guys a couple of thoughts that I have right now. Erin Morgenstern has such an imagination. Like, oh my goodness. I don't know how she thinks up all of these things. So if you guys haven't read this book, basically we have this circus and it has like all these different tents, and you go into each of the tents and there's a different act or a different show or something going on in each of these tents. Some of them are very circusy, normal that we would think of, like acrobats, and like there's this cute little kitten show, and there's tigers and just, you know, that kind of a thing. But some of them are put on by our two illusionists who are in this competition, and like how she comes up with these ideas, and there's so many ideas, like just I don't understand. There's like this beautiful wishing tree that you light a candle on this tree and then your wish comes true possibly. There's this cloud maze where there's like these platforms going up and down and all around, and it's all covered in these cloudy, fluffy things. I don't know. It's just, I'm just astounded, and it pulls me in, and I feel like her writing is just beautiful. Like, it's descriptive enough to where I'm like really seeing it and just like loving it, but at the same time it's not too much to where I'm like, okay, you're dragging it out. Like, I get the picture. Can we get to some plot lines? I also am enjoying that we're getting a little bit more of the romance starting to trickle in, but it is like slowly trickling in, but in a good way. Like, I'm dying for it, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, would you just do it already? So I'm curious as to how that's going to work out because of the way that they are bonded to this competition and each other. I don't really think this has ever happened between two competitors, and I don't think it's supposed to, so I don't know, we'll find out. And Bailey's been kind of my character that we're following in here. That point of view hasn't really been explained as to why he's involved, but it's starting to kind of like come around, and he definitely seems like he's going to be like a big part of this story. So I'm curious as to how his story is going to kind of pull into everything. And yeah, so I'm going to finish this up and I will wrap up this vlog. See you soon. The Night Circus and wrap up this vlog. I definitely have learned a few things as doing this process. I'm not totally sure that I love every element of how this video went, so I'm hoping for the next testing 1, 2, 3 I will be able to do it even better, and we are going to learn from this whole experience. So with that being said, let's talk about The Night Circus. I super love this book. It was so good. I got to the last couple pages and I read them and I just had to sit there and just ponder it for a while. I was just like, what just happened? I'm not fully understanding. Not because like it was confusing, but just because I was just like, can that happen? Wait, what? So yeah, it was beautiful. The writing is wonderful, the atmosphere, all the acts and the places to see, and just how it all came together and worked. And Erin Morgenstern did a phenomenal job. I totally understand why people really love this book, and I just loved it. and 5 stars for sure. So next we're gonna just kind of go through all the books I read, rank them really fast, favorite to least favorite, actually the opposite way, and then we can be done with this vlog and you guys can have some circus books to check out. So I'm not going to include Water for Elephants in the ranking. This one technically wasn't part of the 3 books that we were testing. It was just a fun reread, and I got to listen to it on audiobook, so now I have read it physically, watched the movie, and listened to it on audio, so that's pretty cool. And I love the characters in here. I love the sweet romance between Marlena and Jacob, and their love of animals, and they're just sweet people that feel real, and you've seen my thoughts, so there's that one. My least favorite, but I still enjoyed book in this is Where Dreams Descend. I definitely enjoyed a good chunk of this book. I just wish there was a little bit more to the ending, a little more answers to the millions of questions, and I don't know, and some of the writing was a little hard for me. So you guys have seen my thoughts on this, but it's 3-star and I did enjoy it. Just not my favorite. Next, I'm going to put in Caraval. I absolutely loved the game and the world, and oh my gosh, I love Scarlett's dress. I don't know why, but like, just sticks in my brain. I just love her dress. So gorgeous. And just, I don't know. Beautiful, wonderful story. Can't wait to move on into the next book in the series. And so that one was a 4-star for me. And my favorite book out of the 3 was definitely the Night Circus. I just loved the way that Erin Morgenstern was able to weave all these stories together and all these characters, and they were just in such a beautiful and imaginative and wonderful way. So that one was my 5-star. So in retrospect, the books that were the most circusy, The Night Circus and Water for Elephants, were both my 5 stars, and I loved them. I almost want to put Caraval up to a 5-star. I really, really liked it, but I'm not totally sure yet. I'm still like ruminating on it. But that one was not super circusy, but kind of, I don't know, in like a different kind of way. I don't know how to explain it. Where Dreams Descend, I feel like, was more about the magicians and some of those characters in that contest, and not so much about the circus. So, I don't know. Anyways, I love me some circus books, and this just helped me read more of them, and I'm excited to have done so. If you guys have made it this far, definitely get down there and subscribe if you haven't yet, and like this video